The United States and Saudi Arabia, two nations separated by nearly 7,500 miles. One runs off a democracy, the other a monarchy. One recently elected a female vice president. The other recently began allowing women to drive. The U.S. is mostly Christian and Saudi Arabia is majority Muslim, according to Pew Research. Yet the countries continue to be connected in the headlines.
President Biden will make his first trip to the Middle East since taking office.
Biden, as a candidate, had promised to punish the country and treat the Saudis, quote, like the pariah they are.
America's relationship with Saudi Arabia goes back to the 1930s, when the countries established full diplomatic relations. In 1951, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia established the Mutual Defense Assistance Agreement, which provided American weapons sales to Saudi Arabia and American training for the Saudi military. And in 1990, when Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, the U.S. immediately responded within days and sent troops to Saudi Arabia to defend the kingdom from attack.
Today, as president, I ask for your support in a decision I've made to stand up for what's right and condemn what's wrong, all in the cause of peace. I took this action to assist the Saudi Arabian government in the defense of its homeland.
The relationship between America and Saudi Arabia has also seen disputes. In 1973, the Saudis spearheaded an oil embargo due to U.S. support of Israel during the Yom Kippur War. The embargo caused price and inflation spikes.
The sudden cutoff of oil from the Middle East had turned the serious energy shortages we expected this winter into a major energy crisis. That crisis is now being felt around the world.
The relationship was also tested after the September 11th terror attacks. 15 of the 19 hijackers were citizens of Saudi Arabia. And now the ties are back in the spotlight as President Biden visits Saudi Arabia and other Middle Eastern countries, with several topics on the agenda.
It's counterterrorism, it's climate change. Certainly it's oil production, obviously is going to be on the agenda. And a big item on the agenda is the war in Yemen.
The trip came as a surprise after 2 years of strained relations over disagreements on human rights, the war in Yemen, and U.S. weapons supplies to the nation. During the 2020 presidential campaign, then candidate Biden promised to hold Saudi Arabia accountable for the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. The journalist was last seen in October of 2018, entering the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey. U.S. intelligence found Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman approved of the operation, something he denied after facing fierce backlash.
Khashoggi was in fact murdered and dismembered, and I believe in the order of the Crown Prince. And I would make it very clear, we were not going to in fact sell more weapons to them. We were going to, in fact, make them pay the price and make them, in fact, the pariah that they are.
But holding the Saudi government and Prince Mohammed accountable has been difficult, especially with oil at stake. Saudi Arabia has the world's second largest reserves according to BP data. It's also a key supplier to the U.S., and Russia's war in Ukraine has only magnified the need for amicable relations with the petroleum-rich kingdom. But some American lawmakers disagree, saying we could get oil elsewhere.
We don't need them. We don't need the oil. We got plenty of production of our own.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia says his worry is that the president's meeting will fall right into the hand of the Crown Prince.
I think meeting with him in particular is an absolutely horrible idea. Now, I'm biased. I'm a Virginia senator, and I got members of Jamal Khashoggi's family that live in Virginia. But again, what is the big battle in the world right now? It's how much we let authoritarians run roughshod over democratic values and human rights. And I don't think we can, stand strong against Vladimir Putin and then just turn a casual shrug of our shoulders toward MBS.
According to Reuters, the Crown Prince wants public recognition from Biden as a leader of the Saudi government. Before their meeting, Biden had only spoken with the Crown Prince's father, King Salman. The Saudis are also requesting a written American commitment to defend the kingdom from any potential attacks from Iran. Tensions between the nations have spread from diplomacy to sport. Earlier this summer, the PGA Tour suspended over a dozen players who decided to play in the rival Live Golf League, funded by Saudi Arabia. The series has lured big-name golfers with contracts guaranteeing hundreds of millions of dollars. Critics label the kingdom's tactics as sports washing, or using sports and entertainment to improve their public image.
I don't condone human rights violations. I don't know how I can be any more clear. I understand your question. But again, I love this game of golf. I've seen the good that it's done, and I see the opportunity for Live Golf to do a lot of good for the game throughout the world, and I'm excited to be a part of this opportunity.
According to the Center for Foreign Relations, the U.S. has largely ignored Saudi Arabia's human rights abuses. The U.S. says President Biden's meeting of the prince in Saudi Arabia will put all topics on the table.
In every relationship, of course, we bring our values with us, and human rights is always on the agenda. Human rights is always on the table. So too are the interests of the American people, and these two things can be, and I would say must be, complementary.
The complex relationship between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia will face another test and chapter as America seeks assistance from a controversial kingdom sitting on an oil empire. Alex Miller, Newsy.